Hello crafters. So I wanted to kind of do a very brief overview of how to diamond art. I'll be jumping on here every once in a while to kind of say, how do you diamond paint? How do you paint by number? How do you crochet? How do you do friendship bracelets? And I'll be kind of doing the very basics. I'm going to pretend like this is my first time ever getting a kit. I did open up the bag. It was literally just like this. And I'm not going to say the company because I'm not sure the company even exists anymore, because I tried to look it up because I bought this off of Amazon and the picture was no longer available. So, which means usually the company is no longer available. But this is a picture of Stitch surfing on a surfboard. So I think that's pretty cool. My daughter loves Stitch, so I think that I'm going to give this to her to hang on her wall. So this is what the kit looks like. There's a lot of tools out there, accessories, as you get into diamond painting that people will use. A lot of people don't like, for example, the pens that come with the kit. So let's see here. I have a couple here that are really pretty cool. I actually just got a new one. I'll probably be doing a review on this. This is actually a preloaded wax pen. So you can actually load up your wax in here and then you just turn it and it will put the wax out in the pen. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm going to go ahead and kind of rewind and tell you what wax is for in a little bit. Here's another pen. It's very sturdy. It has a wide base, so your hands don't hurt if you're working hours on end doing a diamond painting. So I personally like this one. I personally also like this one, but like I said, I'll be doing a review on some different ones that I've gotten just so you guys can get an idea of what these look like. But usually when you are first starting out, you literally get a package of items, fancy stuff, and almost every single one of the, and I've never had a kit that has not had the stuff that it comes with. And so what you get is you get, let me get this open. You normally get a chintzy pen, really not very good quality. It has a multi-tool on one end. Sometimes the multi-tools would be different sizes on these particular pens. And then you, of course, get the single one that just puts one gem at a time. As I have mentioned in the past, I only use this, so it really doesn't matter what this looks like. Some kits will also come with a little gripper. I could either take it or leave it, to be honest with you. I do put them just in case my fingers decide to slide down off the pen. But some of them are hard to get on, like this one in particular. And of course I have not opened up this kit or anything, so I have no idea. But yeah, I'll use this occasionally. Sometimes I'll even use these plastic ones because I have like a million of them and I just want to use them up. Once they start to, you'll start seeing like wax come and like feed into this like clear part here, in which case then I will just end up tossing them just because they're not holding the wax as well as they should anymore at that point. Some kits will come with tweezers, others will not. It just depends on the kit. Tweezers can come in handy, especially if like sometimes I accidentally drop one, or sometimes people will use them for like painting that, oh, they worked on a certain section. So like say for example, I'm working on this section and they were working on the S's and they're working along and they think they caught all the S's, but they missed one and they're on a different color right now. So then what they'll do is they'll kind of line up the tweezers to where they found that S, so then they don't have to go searching for it again. Again, you can take it or leave it. A lot of kits don't even provide these. Next up is, this is the tray. The tray is what you put your diamonds in and you shuffle them around and then you start diamond painting. There's different types of trays. This one in particular, I'm not a fan of because this is open-ended like this and it's a wide base open end versus something like this. I personally like these ones. There's some people that will have like caps on the end of these just so, you know, if you accidentally bump into it, none of your gems are going to fall out. I haven't really had that issue, so I don't use those type. But I really don't like this one because it's way too wide and it's very close to where your gems are going to be. Whereas this one like gives a little bit of a space from where your gems would be. And then you get wax, and wax is used to put into the pen. So let me open this up. What I'll do is just stamp it in there. And if you can see there, you actually get a little bit of wax at the end of there. That is so the gems can stick onto the pen, so then you can then stick it onto your painting. Your painting has an adhesive on it. And so if you stick something on there, it will stick. Sometimes papers get stuck on there, sometimes random cat hairs and everything else get stuck on there. There are ways to kind of get rid of some of that stuff, but not important for this particular video. And then lastly, usually what you get is you get these bags. So as you can see, you have all these different gems and all these different numbers. And those numbers correspond with, so if, say for example, I'm looking at 16, I look at 16 here and I see that it's T on the board here. And so I will fill out everything that is T with 16. So what people usually do, or beginners will usually take their gems. So let me take my gems. And this is what I used to do when I was very much a beginner. And sometimes I wouldn't even use these bags. But what I would do was I would just start at a random section. So say, for example, I wanted to start at this corner. I would start and I would go, okay, U, what's U? U is 17. And then I would pull off my 17. So I would get scissors, pull off my 17. And then I would start diamond painting. And then when I was done, I would either wrap up this bag and like put a piece of tape over it, or I would put the gems in here. And then you have to then, you can either try to keep it in the bag, or you can actually label these bags with the corresponding number. I have since gotten some, like these, I don't know what you call them. Let me see here. So I got these, and so it makes it a whole lot easier. So before I even start doing anything, I will put my gems in here. It's called kitting up, when you basically prepare to start your diamond painting. And then lastly, a lot of people talk about, so there's a lot of debate about pens, there's a lot of debate about wax or putty or kitting up, or how you kit up, basically like how you put everything together to make sure that it's easiest for you as you are doing diamond art. And that's the thing, is it's whatever is easiest for you. I've seen some people use these bags and they use them just fine and it works fine and dandy for them. For me personally, I don't like them. I feel like I end up really just, sometimes the bags don't close all the way and then I end up spilling them. So I ended up going with the little tiny containers instead. So what I do is I start and I put all of my containers, I put numbers on each one of them. I put numbers on each one of these, and this corresponds to whatever the number is here on the code. So my code says 1, I have 1 here. That means I'm going to work on C's, for example. This is from a previous kit, so I actually have to kit down before I can actually kit up with this one. So that's not going to be something that I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be opening up this one to put on here. My suggestion is just pull this back and start going. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I have done it where I'm taking sections and just filling out the sections. Some people use release tape, which is basically you can take this entire thing off and then you just put, it's like parchment paper that you just put down in rows, and each parchment paper you lift up and you work on that area. Some people prefer to do that. Some people will use washi tape and section off their, like make a grid with washi tape and put the grid like this and like this. And then what they'll do is they'll take an X-Acto knife and they will cut just this plastic and work on those sections at a time. I don't feel comfortable enough to do the X-Acto knife and not go through the canvas, so I choose not to do that. Sometimes I like to like I said, and I've said this in my past video, sometimes I like to change it up a little bit. And what I'll do is I will literally work on the entire border, just the first thing all the way around, and then go to the next one all the way around. Or I'll work and I'll say, okay, 5 of this line, and I'll work just those 5 lines. Sometimes I will work in sections just to change it up, just to make it more interesting for myself. One suggestion that I do have for everybody, whether or not you pick it up or use the bags or use the containers or use wax or putty or different types of pens, or the one recommendation that I have for literally everybody is to take your washi tape. And so one of the problems with diamond art is that, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there is like a an edge to the adhesive. So if you see here, it's sticky right here. So oftentimes when you're working on a painting, you don't mean to, you're not touching the inside here, but you accidentally touch this edge. And this is the part that gets the dirtiest. So I always recommend taking your washi tape, and not all washi tape is equal, meaning there are some pretty sucky washi tapes that don't really stick to anything. This one is pretty good. It has like a piece of paper on the other side, so I have to like remove the paper in order for it to get the sticky side. And then what I do is I line it up to my edge, just so I'm not putting my arm in on that sticky spot. Like I said, if that's the only thing that extra that you can afford to get with your diamond art kit, my suggestion is to get washi tape, because everything else comes in the kit. There are different types of gems too, I forgot to mention. So these ones are round. If you're brand new to and you don't have very good accuracy, I suggest doing round. Squares, they look a little bit more, I don't want to say pixelated. They're just more cleaner. And if you're going to do something this small, my suggestion is to do round, because anything smaller than this is going to look really pixelated. Let me kind of show you an example. I'm gonna take y'all on an adventure here. So this was the one that I was doing last video, that funky art with the, but a round one, and I am moving mighty slow. So a round one, the square, like if you can tell, these are really tiny squares. And it just looks neater, especially on a larger canvas. This is Diamond Art Club. I spent like 50 bucks on this painting. Ugh, I pulled my back out, so I'm struggling here. But that's what that looks like. So it looks very, very nice and neat. But I think that's it. If anybody has any questions, I can go into like how I kit up. I can go into how I kit down, because I'm going to be kitting down the one that was the funky art. I can talk about pens, wax, sealants, because I do seal all my artwork. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this and that you guys learned something, and maybe you want to start doing diamond art painting as well. Again, I'm hoping to have a community of crafters. So, all right, have a great day.